can do it on your own as a teacher, okay, or you can become more scientific and come up with a what we call a test, really, all right, or what we call a standardized test. That's up to you, okay, because this could be implemented by a teacher in her or in his classroom, okay, doing it by himself or herself, or it could be large scale in that case and become more scientific in nature, right? Okay, so because what we would like is just to give you guys an idea. Okay, and you can maybe pick up some ideas over here. And then after that, we assign our students to their specific language abilities. Okay, and then we're gonna be providing them with we're gonna be looking at graded reading passages according to their language proficiency. That's why I was saying from the very beginning that we can probably provide them with graded reading passages in terms of their what we call reading proficiency. Okay, and then of course when they have that, they can be promoted to the next level in terms of the graded what we call materials. Right. So the next is okay, we can come up with co-curricular and extracurricular reading activities. Okay, so um, most of the students, if not all, definitely are involved in other what we call co-curricular and extracurricular activities. But here in this program, we're trying to zero in into more co-curricular and extracurricular reading activities that can be, done by students. And we wanted our students to actually what we call be involved, and this could be spearheaded by usually the English club in that case, or anything that is spearheaded also by the English department. And some students may have to be enrolled in other what we call intensive programs, okay, or services that could be being what we call promoted or being done or being spearheaded by any office in the university or from any institution in that case. It could be also outside of the university that could be done also, right? But if this could be a sole program for the university itself, this could be really a big work that should be integrated into the program. All right. So the next is the determination and creation of glossing activities according to learning styles, target vocabulary, multimedia, and modalities. All right. So we're gonna analyze a set of data on learning styles and target vocabulary. It depends on probably the concern of a certain unit or a certain English department. Or for example, in our university, we have got a set of vocabulary that has to be mastered by students in every level in that case. So that that's some kind of what we call in what we call trying to make it more conducive to the kind of curriculum that you have in that case. And then the teacher will create a repertoire of glossing activities that are like multimedia, multimodal, that is directed towards learning styles and differentiated learning suitable. So when we say multimedia, what we mean. We use technology. We can have audio. We can have what we call pictures in that case. You can have videos in that case. So that's why it's some kind of multimodal. All right. It's not just audio. It's not just single what we call way of presenting something. And then we actually try to blend that one with the learning styles of the students and come up with differentiated materials or lessons. Okay, now designing, piloting, evaluating, and implementing the multimodal interactive digital reading program software application. So this is actually the part two, the software itself. Okay, so here we are trying to, when the program is already there. So let's say the program has been conceptualized already, so we need to design it, we need to come up with it, we need to pilot it and evaluate it. That's actually the thing about that this program. And again, the second part of the what we call work here is really the software itself. Okay, that's why here we're gonna train teachers how to use the multimodal and the active digital reading program application. We'll we'll try to make that program application available to everyone, and then we would like to come up with a satisfactory evaluation of the program. And on the basis of the evaluation, we're going to improve the program. Okay, so now we come on to the next part, which is the glossing attitudes, which is the incorporation of marginal and L1 glosses. Okay, so um, here, actually, we have learned that L1 is very important. Okay, so that's why, and that marginal glosses, which can be found on the sides of the reading text itself, is very important. So we're trying to come up with marginal glosses plus L1 glosses, which is gonna be integrated into the program or the application itself. So the power of the L1 is very important also. Okay, so we don't actually take for granted that L1 is still very helpful. All right. So here is the next one. So integration of informative reading text, multimedia activities, and teaching and learning strategies, and training of students in the utilization of the digital reading application. So it's quite important that we train students how to use them. Okay, the application. This is something that I would like to highlight over here, because a few things here are really very self-explanatory, and it's very important that we train students before we let them use some kind of applications or software. And the success of such application is actually based on how well the students are able to use the material itself. Okay, that's also goes for the teacher, all right, or the facilitator using the what we call the application. All right. So, and of course, it's expected that there are some kind of collaboration among teachers who are gonna come up with what we call lesson plans. Okay, that is gonna be actually available in the program itself, in the application itself. Okay, so that is on that part. Okay, and then we have to do some kind of survey on recreational reading topics, incorporation of recreational reading strategies and tasks in digital reading application. Um, Most of the time we become very academic, okay, because we are in an academic world. All right, so the program does not actually what we call forget that recreational reading is a potent what we call tool for students to be able to learn, okay, reading or practice reading, most especially if the topics are actually geared towards the interest of the students. Okay, so this is the entire idea of this program. Okay, even the academic readings that we have, okay, we have got some kind of themes. All right, in every university, like for example, in ours, we have got themes that we follow for every level, for every unit. Okay, and we are gonna zero in into the idea that we're gonna use our themes and we're gonna ask our students of some topics that they are very interested to read. Now, the interest of the student is very important, and this will cater to further learning of our students, definitely. And this is something that we need to take into consideration. The use of commercial books are there. I know that. Okay, so especially in private institutions, we have got commercial books, and this program will actually not divert from the themes that are proposed or that are being given to the university as a textbook for utilization for students. The program will only enhance what is actually there. All right, and the program will try to tap into the interests of the students. So that is it. And all right. So that was the entire program itself. Okay, so here are our conclusions. Okay, and we have. I'll just point out something very important. Okay, let's say for example over here. Okay, so number two, it says the respondents agreed with all the subscales of topic familiarity, expressed that the various pre-reading strategies help them to activate their background knowledge. Okay, language ability makes it easy for them to understand passages, and exposure or attendance to previous English language courses lessens their difficulty in reading. All right. Then number three, okay, on incidental lexical learning. So notably, their students choose to do multimodal glossing. So they chose that one. So you have to expose them to different modes. So using glossing to understand main ideas and prefer L1 glossing as an addition to L2 glossing. Right. Then on digital reading attitude, for both academic reading and recreational reading, they prefer reading with the aid of multimedia. So this is actually probably something that we have to zero in. So multimedia. So the paper-based reading is being taken over by multimedia reading nowadays. And this is very true to these students, to my current students also, as we have got some kind of programs already available for digital reading in that case. So we have to combine at least two modes. Okay, the two modes, which is actually academic reading and recreational reading. All right. And let me just emphasize. So with that, actually, it says that it is very important that we make use of a multimodal interactive digital reading program. All right. So yeah. So here are our recommendations for our curriculum experts. Okay. So consider multimedia, multimodality, L1 use, interactivity, proficiency level, dictionary usage, and various modes. Okay. In testing, modes of testing. Okay. In designing a reading program. All right. That's very important for our curriculum experts. So for instructional materials developers, okay, so let's try to get into the familiarity zone of the students. All right. And then look at the learning styles of the students. And for our next one, for our classroom teachers, okay, so we have to give our students autonomy to read the topics and books that they like to develop, and so that they can develop the love for reading. That's another thing. Okay. And if for future conduct, for the future in the future, if there are researchers who would like to conduct the same study, so you may probably come up with some study that can also add or focus on mediating effects of motivation in digital reading attitude of the students. A learner autonomy and group work may be explored also in this case. And of course, it is also recommended that you make use of a multimodal interactive digital reading program. Okay, you can come up with your own, you can modify a program on your own. It depends on the kind of students that you have. All right, so that will be the entirety of the first part of the work. Actually, the second part of the work is still undergoing. Okay, we already have talked to an IT expert, so a group of IT experts are working on some kind of program already, and they're trying to do the programming of this one. And that's also going to be another presentation in the future, the utilization of the proposed program. And we will try to probably come up with another presentation on that and how this one has actually improved our students in terms of their reading proficiency and what has been improved in the application in the software itself. All right. So that will be all. I hope you have got ideas. You picked up ideas, okay, from this very brief presentation. If you have some questions, I am very open to answering them.
Thank you, Dr. John, for such an insightful webinar. I'm sure everyone has benefited a lot. So if anyone has a question, you can write your question in the chat box or you can unmute yourself. Okay, now, so let's take a collective photo with our speaker. So could you please all open your cameras? And Dr. John, can you please close the presentation or stop sharing the screen so that we can take pictures together? Collective. Thank you. Right. Thank you all, and that's for today. Goodbye.